Hey, you're tuned in to episode 18 of Rewind with Ellen. I'm your host, Ellen J. Wanjero.
I'm a co-host, Ro Carter, and is it episode 18?
Imagine, season 2, episode 18.
Season 218. Woo. All right.
Right?
How are you, Ellen?
I'm good. I'm good. You reminded me that it's St. Patty's Day. Can we talk about that jacket for a second?
Oh, hold on. Let me give you a little love
So
for my Irish folks out there. Represent.
you represent the heart. So where'd you get the jacket from?
I actually make these. It's called Royalty Blazers.
Oh wow.
Back in the day before the pandemic, I'm a big sports fan, and so I decided to venture out. And then the pandemic happened. So, you know, but it was fun. I had fun, like good 2.5 years, just during all sporting events. You'd see me with the blazer on. Everybody comes up to you, and so it was a great business adventure. Haven't hung it up yet, but it's just fun to always put on a blazer every now and then and rock it. And people always give me a lot of love, so that's a good thing about it.
So
Thank you for asking.
yeah. So you're introducing sophistication into sports. Is that the angle?
Yes, we're older now, right? It's
Right.
the smelly jerseys with the stains on them and all that stuff. No, I'm saying we're coming in here with class. It's sexy, you know? Black excellence on my end. That's what we do.
Right. That's right. I love it. You coming in hot. Okay. I'm not mad at you. How are you otherwise?
I'm good. A little rain today, so I decided to keep my behind inside.
Right.
So I didn't. So I made the show. Otherwise, New York St. Patty's Day is something that with this blazer on, Ellen would have been like, really, 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 yeah. I'm sorry. So how about yourself? It feels like you have a whole aromatherapy kind of just chill vibe on your side.
I do. I decided to light a candle today. I bought this candle the other day from a company called Kings and Queens Candles. Honestly, the name is what sold me. Then I smelled the candle. It smells amazing. And the name of this specific candle is called Money. So I was like,
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
I love that. It smells incredible. So again, it's Kings and Queens candles. You can find them on IG and Facebook if you are a candle fanatic, as I am. But I'm good. It's been a hectic week, wonderfully productive. So I was kind of looking forward to this sort of wind down, talking with you about the Last Days of Ptolemy Gray, which is a limited series that just dropped on Apple TV Plus. What, last Friday?
Yeah.
And it's a limited series, a total of 6 episodes, but I think only 2 dropped between.
Yeah, 2 are out now. Friday, the third one drops tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, so I loved this series. So I watched all 6 episodes because I did a press junket with the cast of The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray, so I had to watch all 6. But it's a deeply thoughtful, provocative, often beautiful meditation on aging, memory, family, loss, and love. It tells the story of Ptolemy Gray, who is played by Samuel L. Jackson, as a man suddenly left with his trusted caretaker and on the brink of sinking even deeper into a lonely dementia until he is assigned to the care of an orphan teenager called Robin, played by Dominique Fishback. When Ptolemy learns about a treatment that can restore dementia-addled memories, it launches a journey towards shocking truths about the past, present, and future. Whew, that's a mouthful. And it's heavy subject matter. It's often sad, right? The reality of it is somewhat sad, but there's some humor in it. Definitely some drama in it, and it kind of has this element of a whodunit mystery, right? Which is so unexpected, but I love how that's woven into the storyline as it relates to someone having dementia and having to remember a lot of memories or being unable to. So you recently watched the 2 most recent episodes. What did you think? Talk to me about that.
So episode 1, Ptolemy Gray's memory is getting worse. After learning his grandnephew is no longer there for him, Ptolemy's niece assigns him a new caretaker, which is Robin later. Mm-hmm. So you get to meet Samuel Jackson's character. And, this hit home for me because my uncle is a veteran, Vietnam veteran. So I mean, I was like, wow, I'm like watching my uncle right now. And there's funny things my uncle does, and then there's like, ooh, okay, you all right, Unc? He's like, kind of like that mumble under their breath. I'm okay, no, I'm good. But there's one scene when he goes, Samuel Jackson goes, Robin, like the first bird of spring. And so my uncle will do crazy stuff like that. He'll be like, like, when are we gonna do this? He's like, jingle bells, jingle bells. And I'm like, jingle bells? What's jingle bells? And that means Christmas. So I was like, how he puts things together like that. And I'm like, when you figure out the formula of everything, it's really amazing how people got around and how he gets around through this planet right now, this world that we're in. But it really hit home on so many levels how we really got to respect our elders and have patience, because you see throughout the episodes how the younger generation like, come on, Gramps, let's go, and just rushing you and kind of like, hey man, I'm still alive on this planet. Give me my respect, give me that love, and you see that throughout the episodes.
Yeah, to piggyback off of something you said, we as the caretakers and as the loved ones of people with dementia, we almost have to learn a new language to be able to communicate with them, right? So, your uncle saying jingles or jingle bells referring to Christmas, that takes some thought processing for us to connect what it is that means. But when you think of being on the other end of that and how difficult it must be for them to even put that together or, remember certain things. What I loved most about this series is it brought a lot of things to light, right? As it relates to loved ones with dementia and how young people interact with them, how loved ones versus people who are not a part of their family interact with them. And what was so interesting about episode 1 and 2 is like, here's Robin, the 17-year-old teenager who comes out of nowhere, and she, takes on this responsibility of, taking care of Ptolemy Gray in a way that his family really hasn't been. And that's sad, right? And it's eye-opening when you think about, his Ptolemy's niece and her son, and how they kind of looked at him and treated him as a bit of a cash cow, or didn't really care for him. Like if it wasn't for Omar Benson Miller's character Reggie, who's the great grand uncle or great uncle or great nephew to Ptolemy Gray.
Yes, great. Sorry, it's very confusing when they even do it. You my great nephew of nieces? Like what? I'm like, but you're okay. You're okay.
Thank you. So yeah, if it wasn't for his character, who was very instrumental in at the beginning of this. Ooh, something just flew in my eye glasses. Okay, I'm sorry. He was very instrumental. His character was in taking care of Ptolemy Gray. Really, he was the only one. So if Reggie didn't exist and Robin didn't exist, what would Ptolemy Gray do? Like, what would people like Ptolemy Gray do? They're not even almost, they're forgotten, which is so sad, right? To be forgotten by somebody else while you're dealing with your own forgetfulness, right? As it goes from early onset dementia now into straight Alzheimer's. Yeah, this hit home in many different ways for me as well. There is a family member that is that has dementia, right? That's deep in it. So I see what that is doing to her loved one and to the rest of the family. Yeah, I mean, what else in episode 1 stood out to you?
Well, we first see the vivid flashbacks, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're kind of trying to piece that together. Like, what's his story? Like, what happened to him as a younger kid? Because you just see him flashback into his parents, which looks like his parents in one situation, and then a loved one that he lost, which is, what was her name? Sorry. Right. With Cynthia. And so his love of his life. And so you kind of see him going back and forth with that. And he keeps on mentioning Coy Dog. I guess that was his father or some father figure.
That was his uncle.
Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of helpful and helping him out. And I guess he did him a favor and he's supposed to repay it. And you don't know what he's supposed to repay him. So you're kind of figuring this out. I kind of like that because we're going through what he's going through, right? but through the film, we're watching that. So we're like trying to piece it all together the way he's trying to piece his life together as well. So we're on the, no matter if you want to or not, you're invested on this journey for another 4 more episodes, you know, to kind of figure it out. But in doing so, you know, Reggie, as you mentioned, is the only one that's been helping him out. And so he finds out, and that was kind of weird too, how he finds out. His younger cousin comes over and helps him go back and go to the bank and do all these errands that Reggie would normally help him do. And then he says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go see Reggie. We're gonna go see Reggie." Reggie is dead.
Did you have an idea? Did you think something was going on with that? The way they played?
I did when they came into the room and everybody was in black, and then everybody knows that if there is a table set with food like that, that someone has died in the black household. Am I wrong? As soon as I saw, Reggie's dead. As soon as I saw that.
Well, definitely the all black gave it away.
But the food gave it away too.
You think so? Okay.
Right. Oh yeah. It wasn't Sunday. That food gave it away. Food gave it away. Heartbeat. I knew it. I was like, "Ooh, Reggie did." And so I guess you don't want to tell him via visit, right? You want him to really understand that because of his dementia. Would he actually remember that? So to actually see Reggie, it just struck a chord with him, and he's like, "I want to solve this mystery now. I want to find out. I'm going to find out who killed Reggie." And so now we're on this. Now it's like almost like a murder mystery on top of us trying to find out what's actually happened in his life. But it's beautiful. The colors that come throughout the screen, and you kind of go on this ride with him and understand. You know, sometimes we have family members like this, right? I remember just younger kids can't trust them for anything. You know, robbing you of a couple of dollars. You know, give my money, fool. So that hit on so many levels there.
Yeah, the scene between, or rather the scene where Ptolemy Gray first realizes that it's Reggie in that coffin, right? Because he walks in the room not really knowing what he expects until he rolls up and he sees that it's Reggie that's in the coffin. And when he falls into the chair and starts crying and Robin is sitting next to him, and that embrace between them two, I think for me, that was the defining moment that set the tone for the rest of their relationship, or rather what it would be. Because the way Robin, who just met him that day, the way she embraced this broken, crying man, it was so motherly, right? And when you think about, you know, someone with dementia who has someone in their life that's taking care of them, they kind of look to them like a mother, right? Because, you know, it's almost like this loss of memory sort of brings them back to a childlike state. And so that's, again, set the tone for the role that Robin would play for the duration of this series, which I thought was just so tragic and so beautiful, because she was apprehensive up to that point. Like, she was looking at him like, who is this old man? He don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's talking about. Like, get him out of here. I don't have time. She's 17, right? But that moment, I think that's when for her, she's like, oh, he's dealing with the loss right now. She's also dealing with the loss. Her mother died however many years ago. I don't know if it was that far back, but that's the reason she's staying with Ptolemy's niece. So I loved that bonding moment. Another scene that stood out to me, and you and I talked about this briefly earlier, was when Robin's, you know, because she's staying at the niece's house, so she's sleeping on the couch.
That's season 2.
That's episode 2.
Episode 2, sorry. Episode 2.
I'm skipping ahead. All right, so before
we can do it. I just said it's episode 2.
Thank you for that. All right, so let's skip ahead then. So
Well, 1 second. I just want to piggyback on one thing you said. I also, at the funeral, there was a scene that made me, like, we're almost nullified by the death of a young black man, you know? And right, there was no one else emotional. And I think that was really the bond. She's like, oh my God, he actually cared for Reggie. Because no one else at the funeral, I mean, maybe they already went through their grieving process, but no one was still in that grieving moment. I mean, I've been to wakes, I've been to funerals. That's still going on in the room, you know? You feel the energy. And I don't know, it felt like sort of more of a celebratory, like, oh, he died, let's just remember him and kind of move on. It wasn't like, I didn't feel that energy in the room like, oh my God, we lost him. Like, he was such a staple of the community, the family, you know, it's like, oh, you know, Reggie died, he's in there.
Yeah, I mean, when they first walk into the room before where Reggie's body was, like Reggie's wife and the kids are there. The wife didn't even look like she was
Yeah.
heartbroken.
Oh, so, yes. But remember, I just fell asleep and watched it all over again. So remember when when Reggie's telling Ptolemy that his wife is maybe seeing an old, and then he just blah 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 because his dementia just takes over and he kind of just blanks out and stops listening to Reggie. But he did say something, hey, what should I do? So that might play a part in how this unfolds to finding Reggie's killer. I mean, you know all the secrets, so I have to wait.
I do. That is such a pivotal scene, by the way.
I just remembered.
Scene. And that was episode 1, right?
Yeah, that's episode 1.
That also was quite heartbreaking to watch because you could tell that Reggie really needed some advice.
Yeah.
He needed some guidance, and his uncle Ptolemy was the only person that he wanted to get it from. And as with dementia, you just don't know when it's going to take you back in your memory. And the way Samuel L. Jackson played that role, that particular part, because he was tuned in for the first part of that conversation. And then we just kind of see him slowly regress into his own memory, much to Reggie's chagrin, and it broke my heart. I took a special. There was something about Reggie's character that hit home for me, and I think it's because the first time I watched it just to watch, right?
Okay.
Collecting data. Then I went back and watched the series maybe 2 or 3 times. Now going back, having now knowing what happens, I kind of looked at Reggie in a way that I didn't the first time, and I connected with him so much more because of that. And I don't know why I wasn't able to connect with him that way the first time. I don't know. Maybe that's just part of my creative process.
No, I only watched the 2 episodes again.
Okay.
And yeah, episode 2, because Reggie gets killed, you're like, oh, let me look at these moments with Reggie again, because I don't know if I'm gonna are there any more flashbacks. But there's only 2 episodes out right now. So what I'm seeing is now I was really listening the second time around to what Reggie was saying and what he was pointing out and how influential he was.
Yeah, incredibly influential, considering he doesn't even appear in that much of the series. Like,
it's
episode, right?
You got a good hard 5 minutes. Right. Good solid 5 minutes.
But that says a lot, right, about the impact of someone's presence, right? Like, and for Omar Benson to be able to solidify Reggie the way that he did, I think also his stature had a big part with that, right? And just also who Reggie was to Ptolemy. Like, again, he was the only person that really cared for his uncle the way that he did. Yeah, what else happens in episode 1?
I mean, it was just a train situation going back, but the bank. So let's go to the bank for 1 second, because Shirley Ring he meets, and she comes up to him, beautiful older Black woman, says, hello, Mr. Ptolemy, can you borrow $40 from you? And that's when his young nephew is going to cash his checks, which you don't let the young kids cash checks, they're going to take your money. Right. So he comes back with the cash, and she goes, how much you want? She's like an even 50, which was kind of gangster. Right. She asked for 40, and 50 ain't ever even. So I don't know if that's old Black slang for like an even. I was lost there. I was like, even 50. I was like, 40's even, 50's not. All right. But anyway, and she hustles. So I don't want to go too far, because in episode 2 is the reappearance. And I don't know more than that down the line. But that was a moment because he had a little bit of a flashback. She wanted to offer up her ring until she was able to pay him back. So it was a loan, which is interesting, but how she just hit him up was kind of gangster in the bank there. So I don't know if that can be a future love interest, or is he even ready for that because of his dementia? Or you need a companion, right? Maybe she can take care of him a little bit more because they're at similar ages, but she's a lot more well functioned or well off, I should say.
I thought for a hot second there that she was gonna be like a bad guy in this, right? Like, she was just gonna hustle him, and it was gonna be a weird situation. But it turns out that it's the complete opposite of that. But I say this, I hated that nephew. Like I hate that nephew with a passion and what he represented.
Yeah.
Right? Here's this young kid who just could care less about his elderly uncle and the state that he's in, and he actually makes a decision to steal more than half of his money that's deposited in the bank, right? That they went to cash the checks. And then, do you remember the scene on the bus? Was it on the bus or on the porch? It was a response that the nephew said that just solidified, like, he's not wrapped too tight. Like he doesn't get it if he doesn't think there's anything wrong with stealing from someone who doesn't know that you stole from them. That was the premise of that.
That was right? On the porch. It was on the porch,
okay,
yeah.
Right. And I was just like, oh my God, this kid is really out of control. But I think that the way they inserted that sort of point of view was great, because that's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are people that would legit take advantage of someone and think like, oh, it's all good. Like they don't even know that I took their $300. So what's the problem? Like, wait, what?
What's the harm?
What's the harm? Yeah, Shirley's character, to your point, beautiful, well put together. I wish I wanted to know, like, why don't you have $50? Like, why are you borrowing $50?
Well, she said her check doesn't come in yet.
So you don't have another $40 somewhere?
I mean, she did, but she's short because there was more than that.
Okay, got it.
And the extra 10 she borrows was to help her out a little bit more, get something next week. So I don't know.
Shirley said, "Don't mind if I do. I'll take I'll take an even 50."
That's my new one. Can I get an even 50, please?
Can I get an even 50? Yeah. All right. So let's move on to episode 2, and let's start it off with that couch scene. And Robin again living with Ptolemy Gray's niece, who was her mother's best friend, right? So her mother's best friend takes Robin in, and what seems like a good situation really is not, because this nephew that I hate so much also lives in this house. They're both teenagers with hormones, right? Well, maybe he has a whole ton of hormones, and so Robin is, she sleeps on the couch, and so she just has like a regular like shorts and a tank top. And we see this nephew trying to roll up on her and trying to touch her. And she, pulls out a box cutter or something because she sleeps with it under her pillow. And obviously she's used to this sort of thing happening because she stays ready, right? And so for this nephew's mother to come out and like defend her son, that rubbed me. I also didn't like the mother. I didn't like the character and what she represented, right? Because she almost had blinders on, to her son, who, like, God only knows what he could have done to Robin, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. So what would she have done had that have happened? Would she still have defended her son, or would she have, stood up for Robin? But everything happens for a reason, because that's the push that Robin needs to leave that house, and she ends up at Ptolemy Gray's home. I'll pitch it to you now.
Okay, all right. So the niece basically says that she calls him Hilly, her son. Yeah. Hilly's a young, he's at that young age, and you're pretty and you're walking around half naked. So that blame game, right? And that goes on in the Black community, white community, all communities basically. That the women are the ones that are bringing them on themselves. You should have wore a little bit more clothes. Look less pretty, do this and that. And so that hit home, I think, for so many people on so many levels, right? It's like, it resonates in a different kind of light. And you see like, oh, wow, that is so ignorant for you to say, right, when I'm just minding my own business. But then later on, there's a little karma, right? I mean, she becomes that person that she's supposed to be like all good and just trying to stay out of people's way. When she kind of steals the wardrobe later. So I was like, I felt for her in that moment. Doesn't mean anything bad should happen to her, but it's kind of, you go back and forth, like, if you're going to be good the whole time, so nothing bad happens to you. But it's just life. There's always these ups and downs. But nobody should be taken advantage of, especially like that, for any excuse. And so you kind of have to grapple with that off the bat, and then how the parent defends. And so to have no parents now anymore to kind of like confide to and be like, to understand you, like another woman's looking at you like you're in the wrong, and you're like, you're supposed to be on my side, and you're not on my side at all. So what do I do? If this is the way it's going to be, then I got to get out of here. And so she goes to Ptolemy Gray's house, and she decides, let's do some spring cleaning. And I've tried to do this with my uncle as well. Yeah, it don't go.
No.
Maybe it needs a little more of a woman's touch, but you can't touch nothing. I don't care if it's on its last leg. It's like, no. That's good. I'm like, Uncle, it's not good. No, don't touch. Oh, yeah, you have to compromise a lot. So I love that moment, how she really spent some time with him, came to the house and said, hey, let's start cleaning this place up. And she's also a pretty good handy woman. So she helped around the house and fixed some things. But roaches will scare anybody. So they gotta bomb the house. I don't care who you are. You're a grown ass man. You see a roach, a big ass roach, and a grown ass man, you're gonna jump a little bit. I'm just saying. Not saying I've done that, but you're gonna jump a little.
Right. Yeah, Robin gets there and immediately, again, she's only 17. She gets there and recognizes that, wow, this man is pretty much living in squalor, and he is a hoarder, right? Which makes sense, right? Because you're trying to hold on to everything that you have. I imagine it's connected to some sort of memory, right? And significance in your life. And so I liked that Robin, she saw that and she respected it, right? So she didn't go and just start, throwing things out and disrespecting everything. Like, she asked him, can we throw this out? Like, what does this mean to you? Like, how is this significant to you? If it doesn't matter, then let's throw it out. And you instantly see Ptolemy sort of just kind of acquiesce and just relinquish whatever little power that he has to this 17-year-old girl who's immediately taken on this motherly role. And so you see their relationship sort of develop in such an authentic way. Like, she needed to be that, right? She needed to be somewhat aggressive in some of the decisions she had to make to clear out that house, right? And just to think about this, the smell that might have been in that house, right? Oh. The roaches that were everywhere. God knows what else was living underneath all those books and those heaps of clothes or whatever. So for her to roll up in there and not even be scared by it. But I also imagine that she didn't have anywhere to go, so she didn't have a choice. Like, we're going to clean this house, because
she wasn't taking no for an answer. She was like, no, it's not gonna.
And thank God that she didn't. And so, does episode 2 cover her going into that secret bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they bomb the house and then they spend the night at the hotel.
Okay, and you did mention something I wanted to circle back on. I didn't get that she stole Cynthia's clothes and her hair clip. I think she kind of took it to try it on. But I know that sounds nuts, but Robin didn't strike me as she's not a thief. Or by definition, you're saying she is because she took it and because it didn't belong to her? Right, is that what you're saying? So do you think if Ptolemy never would have caught her in the bathroom with that on, she just would have?
Listen, if you didn't ask to wear it or touch it, you stole it. Well, there's no gray area here, Ellen. Come on.
Listen, I'm the same person that believes Franklin Saint can be a good father, so I'm probably the wrong person.
I mean, every week you just surprise me.
I'm the wrong person.
Don't let you hit the lottery. Everything's gonna be gone out of your house in one day. Hey, it's all right. You're just trying it out. I'll be right back. I'll take a car around the corner. I'll be right back. No problem. Don't worry. Let's try it out.
Right. Never to be seen or heard from again.
Your trust factor is high. I love that. Your trust factor.
So Lisa May just joined the convo. Hey, Lisa May. She says,
hello, Lisa.
Guys, I didn't see it yet, but from the discussion, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's a good one. I think it would behoove us all to watch this because at some point in our lives we are going to know someone or be involved with someone a loved one that is dealing with dementia. So how we treat them and how we care for them, I think, is instrumental in their existence, in their very limited existence, right? And the more we shun, not even shun, the more we try to stay away and keep away from people like that, the more they regress.
Yeah.
Because they don't need isolation. They need to be surrounded by people. They need to be constantly stimulated, constantly engaged. And we saw what that looked like before Robin stepped on the scene, right? Reggie only came by maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, who knows? But it's really important to hold those people near and close to us. Also, because we never know if we're going to be that, right?
Yeah.
So let's put some karma in for ourselves down the line.
Ellen gonna make me have a family on this show, so I'm not alone later in life. That's great. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen.
And then let's talk about that. For us, for single people that don't have kids, or for people that don't want to, who the hell is going to take care of us down the line? I worry about that a lot. That might be the only reason I find a kid. Not have a kid. You notice I didn't say have.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Okay. It's a valid point. It's lonely. It gets lonely at some point. So it's worth it at the end of the day. But I was told a valuable lesson that you want daughters, because males don't care for one drop about you.
No,
they don't care.
They care, but they get married and go to other families. Girls stay.
Okay. I'm just
Men
they care, don't care. But yeah, so if you're gonna do that, you need a lot of young ladies. I need girls in my life to take care of my stuff when I'm older, and then, or you just die at a younger age, and that's it. You're just done.
Wow, really?
I don't want to do that. I'm just saying the other option is just like, hey, 60, 55, 60, boom, had a good life, enjoyed it.
But people are getting early onset at a very young age now, like in their 60s, even some in their 50s. I remember I have a family member who has dementia, and so prior to her going into an assisted facility living place, like my sister and I would go visit like just a ton of different facilities, and my God, the conditions of some of these places,
I can imagine.
It was terrifying. And then they have these spaces called memory lane, right? Because those are for the people that have dementia. But you just see, I would randomly see like an older woman, an older man just sitting in their wheelchair, just staring at, just lost in space. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't handle this. So that's difficult. That's difficult to process. And then when it's your own family member, that's a whole other layer that no one can really understand unless you're that person that's going through it. So hats off to the caretakers, man, the ones that, not only care for people, but they care about the people. Because it's not enough just to care for them, because you could care for them, but be a really shitty caretaker. Caring about them is what really holds that together and probably prolongs their life, because they know that they have somebody there that they can talk to, that can help trigger memories, that can talk to them well and be patient and be more tolerant. As a child of two older parents, I'm so connected to the possibility of one day my parents maybe going in that direction. I don't know, it's not there yet, but you just never know.
Yeah.
And Lisa May says something, very accurate. They are angels in disguise, caretakers.
Yeah, I remember I did the interview with Joseph Marcel. He played Jeffrey on Fresh Prince, and he is in his 80s, almost, and he was like, you know what? It's up here. He's like, I rather the new stuff I do, I want stuff that's challenging, because I got to keep this brain going so I don't get dementia. And he even talked about it. Wow. He's like, I have my wits about me still, so I want to keep that motor running upstairs so I don't go into those early sets of dementia. And I was like, wow. He's like, I'm swimming every day. I'm doing this and that. So it's always about being active and keeping your brain challenging in different ways.
And this film is extremely personal for Walton Mosley, who wrote the book back in 2010. Of course, Walton Mosley is a best-selling author. And so the impetus for him writing this stems from his parents. They both died from dementia or diseases that cause dementia. And so, after his mother passed, he decided to write this story as a way to honor them, right? And then Samuel L. Jackson's connection is like, my God, he's surrounded by people who either have dementia in his family or have passed away from dementia. And there's something he said that struck a chord, like him being at the age he is now. If he forgets something, it's an immediate panic of, oh my God, is it happening to me? Right. And I get that, right? Especially if your, surrounding family is dealing with something like that. So this was a really personal project. It was actually supposed to be a feature film, which I can't imagine how that would have played out. I'm glad that they opted to make this a series to prolong the story. I don't know that they would have been able to pack all 6 episodes into a film and it would have been enough.
It would have hit different. It would have been very rushed. I think it would have been, like those characters need to be built, to really understand them.
Yeah. So I cannot wait for you to watch the rest of the episodes because there's a lot that happens. It goes in so many, different, incredible directions that were just so unexpected, especially, for the plot to be, based on someone with dementia. Like like I didn't think that it would have so many different legs.
Okay.
But it does. And so I can't wait to hear, your point of view once you watch the whole series.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So was there any particular character that sort of stood out to you, or maybe there was more than one?
Oh, no. I like I said, love Reggie off the bat. And Robin's character, just that helpful young lady going through her ups and downs, but putting those all aside to help out a family member. And there's that one scene when he's with one of Reggie's friends, and he's like, you got to put a little respect on him, man. You don't just call him, old guy. Call him uncle. Show him some love. He's earned that, and that's a touching moment, right? To someone younger to you, and you're telling, hey, man, you got to give love to these OGs and like just respect them like that. And then later on, she calls him uncle, which is like that beautiful moment. So yeah, I think the colors. I mean, it's just those flashbacks he has. I'm like, oh, I want more. Give me the story already. So that's the only frustrating part I would say about it. But once again, man, beautifully done. I think this is Samuel Jackson's second film on Apple TV because he did the one, with that's another good one that came out, but that was very under wraps. I remember you that was one of the first movies you did, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't get a lot of love because it was also during COVID and it was talking about something that we don't really want to talk about. But
there was also a weird backstory, like something happened that sort of like put the kibosh on it being like distributed as much as it could have been.
Yeah, because it should have been all over the place. The Banker is really well done. You definitely should check that out if you haven't seen that on Apple TV. It's on there as well. And check out Ellen's interviews. Let me tell you something. The one with Samuel Jackson is beautiful. The energy is there. I love that interview. I posted it and I told everybody you got to see this. So shout out to you, Ellen, doing big things. As always, I'm saying as always. Doing big things.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a little shook going into that Samuel L. Jackson interview because I just didn't know what to expect. I had this perception of him just, not smiling, not just being used at all. So like if I crack a joke, he's not going to smile and he's going to shut me down. I didn't know, but it ended up going really well. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Just a quick shout out to Dominique Fishback, who plays Robin. The fact that she was able to go toe to toe with Samuel L. Jackson and hold her own the way that she does, I am so impressed by just her as an actor. Like she's at the beginning of her career and she's set the bar so high. Like I can't wait to see where she is 10, 15 years from now. She's a beast. Like she owned that role.
Ellen, I never doubted her. I mean, she played Chantel on Netflix, the original female rapper. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that. Chantel?
You-
I didn't see
Shantae, whatever, Chantel with like Nas and all them
no,
in Queens.
that wasn't her that played that.
That wasn't her. That was her.
That
No, that was her.
No, she didn't play the maid Roxanne
No,
Chantel.
no, you're right. Yeah, she was in that though.
Oh, okay. Got it.
She was in that. Yeah. And so when I saw her handle that a little bit, I've seen a couple of films coming up now. She can definitely handle her own.
Yeah, what sold me on her is she did a play where she played 21 different characters. Like
Really?
what? Like how do you do that? Like she's a trained actor. Like
I don't trust anybody that can do more than 5 characters. I don't trust anybody. Nope. Nope.
And she's so young. She's only 24 or 25. So like, right, the sky's the limit with where she's going. And of course, Omar Benson Miller, loved him since Ballers on HBO.
Yeah.
He held his own. He had a small part in this, but he definitely did it justice. And the way they made Samuel L. Jackson look older, like he played like in flashbacks, he was a younger man. In present day, in like it was crazy. Like I can't even imagine what that makeup process was for him to look as old as he did, and as I don't want to say disheveled, but it kind of goes with the point in his life that he was at before Robin stepped on the scene. But kudos to the makeup artist. I can't imagine how long he sat in that chair to accomplish that every day.
He's old now too. Samuel Jackson?
He's in his 60s, yeah.
No.
You think he's in his 70s?
Yeah, you're so there's no way he's in his 60s.
Wait, now I gotta look that up.
Yeah, he's 73.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he started acting when he was like 55, yeah. He was found in the park, the Spike Lee joint. That was like.
He started when he was 46. I think that's why I'm thinking like, okay,
50,
he's still 60 something. Who knows?
He looked good, but I'm just saying, he old.
He's 73. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Hey, Samuel.
All right.
Yeah, so all in all, The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray is definitely worth watching, for sure. Any last words?
No, always a pleasure. Enjoy your week. And are we announcing that yet? Or are we going to keep it rips?
No, we can announce it. Blackfilm.com got invited to attend the 94th Oscars in the world. So that's huge. That's huge for us. So we're excited to go to LA next weekend and to just be a part of that entire incredible experience.
Ellen will be representing.
Yes.
Shout out to Ellen once again, doing her thing on the red carpet. If you have any tips, I gave her some, but please let her know, everybody.
Right. I don't know if I'll be on the red carpet, but I'll definitely be in the building. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Ellen, you get on that car. I don't care if you got trips about, you get in that carpet.
If not on the carpet, I will definitely be in the press room, actually interviewing winners.
There you go.
After they come in.
I need a picture with the Oscar in your hand. I need a picture. That's what
Oh my God, who do you think I could? Listen, I will figure it out. I will figure out who Listen, can I borrow your Oscar for a minute?
Hey, how you doing? Okay. Oh my God, that looks happy. Hold on, let me just. Oh yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that Will Smith will win for King Richard in Best Actor, so I have no qualms about asking him.
They are robbing him. I don't think he's gonna get it. They're robbing him.
He won it for Critics' Choice.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it's time for him to win an Oscar, though.
I agree, but I don't think he's gonna get it.
Damn. And there's not a lot of black folks in.
Nope.
Excuse me. So there's just literally one handful.
Nope.
Or half a handful. So
not a drop.
Right. We'll see. We
will see.
Yes, we did. Okay. So that's about it for this show. Next week, I think we're going live on Wednesday, right? As opposed to Thursday.
Yes. Live on Wednesday.
Yeah. And we're talking about the new Amazon Prime film Master with Regina Hall, which is really good and really crazy and creepy. So can't wait to talk about that with you. Lisa May, thank you so much for joining and for tuning in and for commenting. And that's about it for Rewind with Ellen today. Ro, have an awesome weekend and rest of the week.
You as well. Be safe. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.